I think it's interesting. Marcedes Lewis was with the Bears last year, but it's a reduced role. They have Cole Kmet. They brought in Gerald Everett, but a blocking tight end, situational tight end. But it is interesting. There are people, like Tom Brady's an obvious. We had him on the show yesterday. Tom Brady loves football. He likes the process of it. And Marcedes Lewis has been smart with his money, made good money, long time. And as he becomes more of a situational player, again, he played in all the games for the Bears. And what he is asked to do is not pretty. He is asked to put his hands on guys, defensive ends, and block. And Marcedes Lewis is now joining us live. I love seeing him. Most seasons played by a tight end in league history. And I had Brady on yesterday, and Tom loves the process, but Tom doesn't have to block. Tom doesn't have to put his hands on people. You could have called it a career. You're a smart guy. You've done well in your life. But you keep coming back. You even keep coming back in cold weather. Green Bay, Chicago. Did you always, it has to be passion and love at this point, does it not, for the sport?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, passion is a big part of it. I think that, you know, I always say, like, I don't ever want to be on the couch one day watching ball and have the regret of not being able to fulfill my passion and my dream. You know, this is a dream of mine since I was 7 years old. I've been doing this for a very long time. And mentally, I'm still in it. Physically, I'm still, you know, in shape and doing what I have to do to prepare to play games and help a team win. So for me, it's really a no-brainer. Obviously, when that window closes, you know, it closes. And you can never get that back. And so, you know, I definitely want to tap into everything I have. And, when it's all said and done, it's all said and done. I'll be happy with that.
You went against the Bears defense in practice. At the end of the year, I don't know how many people outside of Chicago, Marcedes, were paying attention. The defense was actually really good from about week 10 on. Was it just Montez Sweat, Matt Eberflus? It's a young defense. Did it click? You were at practice. What happened? Why was the defense so good? I think it was number one in the league the last 6-7 weeks. What happened?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, obviously the second half of the season, the defense started to really come on, but it really was the consistency and willing to come to work and get better every day from the beginning of the season. You know, obviously things are not always going to go your way. There are so many variables on both sides of the ball that happen and sometimes are out of your control. But the things you can't control is your attitude and your effort. And I can honestly say from watching from the sideline, whether, you know, I'm in getting reps or I'm not getting reps, those guys are, you know, competing at the highest level. They're putting pressure on each other to be right. And the communication just got better and better throughout the year. And obviously with the acquisition of Sweat coming in, that added another dynamic to the defense and took a lot of pressure individually off a lot of guys. And they were just able to play ball and not think that they had to go out there and be Superman. So, you know, still adding pieces and doing the right things. But I'm excited for what's going to happen this season.
It's kind of fascinating to watch Jordan Love. I don't recall a quarterback where I didn't like him in the first 5 weeks, and I loved him by the end. He had this massive explosion. Even Matt LaFleur, who's one of the nicer guys, was pretty critical of him early. Something, Marcedes, some switch flipped. I mean, you can't go from him in week 4 to him in week 17. It was a different player. He'd been he'd been there for 4 years. What clicked? Because by the end of the season, when he's going to Dallas, I'm like, oh, he's the best quarterback on the field here. It's not Dak. He's the best quarterback. What do you think clicked for him?
I just think that it took him some time this past season to kind of understand it. Like, you know, this is his team. You know, obviously being behind A-Rod and learning how to be a pro and just the ins and outs of how to go about your business, he had the best tutelage. And I just think towards the end of the year, he was just everything started to come together for him. You know, it was one of those things to where, you know, I saw that coming from a mile away. The guy listens twice as much as he speaks. He just wants to be great. And I'm glad that, you know, he had success. And I hope that he continues to have success because he's such a great guy. So, you know, when you stay diligent and understanding it's a team game and being your personal best is what it's about every day, knowing that guys are counting on you. you're always going to get the best out of yourself. And he was definitely one of those guys to do that.
What is the line, all that moxie and experience from you, and now you have a rookie quarterback? What is the line for a veteran player? What are you comfortable helping Caleb with? I mean, you don't want to be annoying, but you want to help him. What have you learned so far, and what is that line for you?
I think it's always been about, it's more pressure on the rookies coming in or the young guys that want to learn. And you can ask any of the guys that are vets. The rookies that come in that are humble, that understand that they don't know it all, and they ask the right questions, we're more than willing to give them the game. And I think that, in Caleb's situation is going to be one of those things. Obviously, coming in as a rookie quarterback, being drafted first overall, it's a lot of pressure on you. But the more you can lean into your guys and understand that we're all on the same team and, we're all pushing for the same purpose, and that's in the pursuit of a championship. So I haven't had a chance to meet him yet in person, but we have similar friends, obviously being in L.A. I heard he's a great guy. So I'm looking forward to that. And, I'm an open book, and I'm looking forward to taking him under my wing like Fred Taylor and Kyle Brady did for me when I came in. So it's going to be a great experience.
So it's so interesting that you are – I just view you as obviously you played with the Jags, but I really – and that was most of your career. But they're a lower profile team. So I remember your Green Bay years as much as your Jacksonville years because Green Bay's on TV every week. And now you go to your most hated rival. Same weather, probably a little bit more of a nightlife, one of my favorite cities in America. But I don't think fans think about this. You were basically in brawls with Chicago for the last 5 years. Now you walk into that locker room. You think it's going to be a little odd?
It's not really odd for me because, for one, my film does the speaking for me. So it's not about me going in there and boasting and being weird about it. And a lot of the guys, like I've been playing ball when a lot of these guys were in high school and junior high. So it's more so just like the big brother role, obviously. And, sometimes I'll see comments on my pictures sometimes, or if the Bears post something about when I resigned, it was like, trying to remember something I saw. Like it'd be like, man, why aren't you retired? Or I didn't even know he was still playing, or this, that, and the third. I just feel like if I came to your job, let's say if you were working a normal 9-to-5 job, and I came to your job and walked in and was like, man, you're still working here? Why don't you retire? Like, I just feel like if you have the passion to do something,
right,
and you're playing ball or doing whatever you're doing at a high level, you can control your destiny in a way. I've been playing this game because I love this game, and when it's gone, it's gone. You can never get that back. And so these are, especially these last 5 or 6 years in my career, has been amazing because I've been able to see it from a different standpoint. And obviously spending 12 years in Jacksonville, I was just kind of in the mix in my prime, catching the ball, doing all these things. But now my role has changed, and it's just been amazing to just be able to play ball and help guys learn the game from a different perspective. And I'm here to tell you now that, regardless if I'm 40 years old, I'm going into my 19th year, there's grumblings like, oh, he's a locker room guy, this and that. The NFL is not a place where you can hide, right? So if they're going to, spend their money and invest in me, it's not to be just a locker room guy. Right. And I don't take it as that. I take my job very seriously. Yeah. I enjoy dominating at the point of contact. And, it's just definitely a blessing, and I'm forever in gratitude for this opportunity. And, I'm going to play this year just like I played every year, and that's to get better every day. And, it's something that I'm proud of.
Finally, if there was a guy, he may be retired now. If he's playing, you may not want to say it. But if I said to you, there's one guy that you just didn't like blocking. He was and it may have been a unique player, but you look at it and think, because you played 268 games, and a guy that maybe kept you up the night before, or he had a weird style or a body, and you're like, oh, this is going to be I'm going to be sore all week. What guy, because you're a blocking tight end, you are